Just so you know, this video is going to involve me saying the word nigger because it's all about whether or not people should ever use that word. Personally, I find going the N-word actually quite offensive because you're pretending if you say the N-word, you're not racist. This is a tactic used by some of the worst racists in the world. Now, personally, I think the only time I would ever have a reason to say the word nigger is to discuss the word itself or perhaps to quote someone. Now, I also know there are people on the left who lose their mind if the word's ever mentioned. I actually don't give a fuck. If you want to give the word that much power, you're pathetic, okay? And for those who are actually racists who want to say, ooh, you can't say the N-word, I say, go fuck yourself. G'day viewers, I want to talk to you today about human rights in Australia. See, we have a Human Rights Commissioner. We're all over that shit, okay? And this week, our recently appointed Human Rights Commissioner, Tim Wilson, went on for the big issues, namely being concerned with why can't white people call black people niggers? That's something he actually brought up. The current government is changing anti-racial vilification laws in this country so that white people get to say what's okay and what isn't. I'm not even joking. They're including a provision that says an average Australian, not a particular section. This has accurately been called the whitest legislation ever put in this country. This is codifying in law white people are neutral. Anyone else gets their knickers in a knot, just shut the fuck up and let the white people sort it out for you, okay? The mind boggles until one realises the sort of ideologues we're talking about. When Tim Wilson was appointed last year by George Brandis, who I've recently expressed my mild displeasure with, Brandis actually categorically, specifically said this was a political, ideological move. We're going to restore the balance. You know, the way Fox News is fair and balanced. Basically, I assume the other Human Rights Commission members were too much about rights for humans and not enough about pushing the barrow of the Liberal Party's conservative ideology. That seems to be what they're saying. They're not even sugarcoating it. It's like, fuck you, you're not doing what we want. We're going to force things on you, so you have to do what we want. Free will, your own discretion, the fuck is that? You don't need that. Now, some people will be obsessing. You still haven't answered the question. When minorities use epithets among themselves, why can't the people in the majority, in the power position, why can't they use those same epithets? Because it's about power. Epithets used by the powerful to the weak have always been a tool to keep them down. The more recent trend of the minorities using those epithets themselves to take that power away has got nothing to do with the people in power. You, as a white man, don't need to be able to call a black man a nigger, okay? You already have the power. You're not being groundbreaking or edgy by saying that. You're being a fucking prick. And the people who just go, oh, but why can't I say it? Free speech. Like gutless pussies like Andrew Bolt and his supporters who say, oh, my free speech is impinged. But if anyone dares suggest they've done something wrong, they whine and bitch and demand an apology. Fuck that bullshit. Here's the thing. You can say whatever you want as long as you own it, as long as you take responsibility for it. If you agree that it's negative to use these abusive terms, don't fixate on what a minority does within themselves. Just say, hey, I'm going to choose to not do that. That doesn't make you a hero. That doesn't make you a special. That's just, the beginnings of being a decent human being. It's like people say, oh, there are some topics you can't make jokes about. So, well, you can make jokes about it, but if you're the type of comedian who makes jokes that dumps shit on people who already have lower status, you're a fucking hack. Ha ha! April Fool! You thought Australia was actually a country where the Human Rights Commissioner would bemoan the fact white people can't call black people niggers, where the Minister for Indigenous Affairs is white, where the Minister for Women's Affairs is a man, where the Prime Minister says climate science is crap and gets rid of the office of the Minister for Science altogether. Now I've made myself sad.